Hello and welcome to the Global Engagement Scholar Program Orientation. We're delighted to have you join us today as we go through the requirements and some important details that will be helpful for you to make a decision on whether or not you would like to participate in the Global Engagement Scholar Program. My name is Adam Zahn and I'm the Director in the Office of Global Engagement. And I'm joined here by my colleague. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Casey Devine. I'm the coordinator for the Office of Global Engagement.
And this orientation will be very brief, but we'll provide an overview of the program, again, so that you can make a decision on whether or not you would like to apply for the program. Certainly any questions that you have about the program, you're definitely welcome, and we encourage you to reach out to me or Casey before applying.
So listed here is what we'll go over during the presentation. First, we'll provide a general program overview. We're going to review activity requirements that you would need to complete to receive a GES certificate. We'll answer and address some frequently asked questions and then give you next steps if you'd like to start an application.
So who is a Global Engagement Scholar? The program is developed for domestic and international undergraduate students who are really seeking to leverage their roles as globally minded citizens. Students from any major are eligible to join. And the idea here is that if you're interested in pursuing global coursework, co-curricular activities, foreign language study, being part of globally oriented campus organizations and events, this program will provide the framework for you to reflect upon your different global experiences, again, both abroad and global, local, domestic experiences, so that you have an understanding of how to market yourself in the workplace, for graduate schools, and for other different types of future activities you might have in which you want to showcase your global competence and your recognition of global engagement as an important factor for your discipline. So the program's really for students who want to connect all of these different types of experiences and receive recognition for their global activities at Drexel. We have over 80 students in the program at the moment, this recording in 2020, and we've had over 30 students graduate with Global Engagement Scholar distinction. So upon graduation from the program in your senior year, your transcript will have the designation that you are a Global Engagement Scholar, sort of like an honors designation on your transcript. Students also receive special Global Engagement Scholar cords upon graduation. And we really seek to create a community of Global Engagement Scholars at Drexel. So we're gonna go over the activity requirements. The orientation is considered a requirement for the GES program. Obviously, if you're attending online right now, if you're listening, that will certainly count. And we also will hold different in-person or synchronous orientations throughout the year for students to participate in understanding the program. We're going to talk about the coursework and language study requirement, the international and cross-cultural experience requirement, the different events and programs requirements, and finally the portfolio and summative reflection paper final requirement. Keep in mind that requirements 1 through 4 will require written reflections for the instructions that are given online, whereas requirement 5, again, for your senior year involves a final reflection paper and visual presentation that guides your participation in the program. The program is facilitated through an online community classroom. You can see an example of the community classroom here, but upon acceptance into the program, we will register you for the online community classroom, which basically is a Learn course that always stays open on your Blackboard Learn. And through the community classroom is where you will submit all of your activity requirements. So all of your reflections for the program get submitted through this community classroom. Concurrently, you'll also register for what's called GES 201, the Global Engagement Scholar Colloquium. This colloquium is a 0-credit course. It is basically a holder on your transcript. It does not carry any weight towards your GPA or credit requirements. It's just to show that you're in the program throughout the duration of your time at Drexel. So 2 different things will be on your Blackboard Learn while you're in the program. One will be the community classroom that you see here with some changes, and the other will be GES 201, and that will be the non-credit placeholder on your transcript that you will register for each quarter.
As Adam noted, attending an orientation, whether that be in person or online, is the first requirement that must be completed to start the Global Engagement Scholar Program. Any interested student must also complete the application that is linked on our website. The homepage is drexel.edu/global. When you are accepted to the program, as Adam mentioned, you will be asked to register for GES 201. And it's important to note, as he said, this course is non-credit. It just serves as a placeholder on your transcript. As he well put it, you will be added to the community classroom on Blackboard Learn, and that's where you will submit your reflections in hoping to cultivate a community among global engagement scholars. You'll also be able to connect with one another on that classroom site. You'll also find additional resources about program requirements, such as samples of submissions that we will ask you to complete upon each completion of the requirements. And like Adam said, remember that you will continue to register for GES 201 each following quarter.
And it's important that we, I know it seems a little bit repetitive to discuss the classroom twice, but it is a confusing element of the program. So we just want to make sure that you understand the requirements for registering for GES 201.
So for the academic portion of receiving your GES certificate, students are required to complete at least 4 globally oriented courses. And for each of those courses, you must receive at least a B as your final grade. Out of these courses, at least 1, but no more than 3, must be a foreign language course. And if for some reason taking a globally oriented course may not fit into your academic plan of study, you can work with your GES mentor to discuss alternative options to fulfill this requirement. You must respond to the coursework and language study prompt that is found on the community classroom to reflect on the connections made between your global courses. And upon completion of these courses, you must submit a copy of your unofficial transcript after they've been taken.
In particular, most students are able to fit in the 4 globally oriented courses. We do have some students who join the program in their junior year or pre-junior year, particularly from engineering fields or the nursing field, where it's really difficult to complete the 4 globally oriented courses. And those are really when we're going to make the exception to come up with a different solution to complete this requirement. Otherwise, if you're starting your freshman or sophomore year in the program, you certainly should have no problem fulfilling that requirement. And we also provide a sample list of courses in the community classroom for you to look at. And there's a lot of great options here at Drexel. So the next requirement is international and cross-cultural experiences. Students are required to complete at least 1 international experience and 1 cross-cultural experience, or 3 cross-cultural experiences. So what's the difference? An international experience can be a study abroad, a co-op abroad, international volunteer service, international research, an intensive course abroad, one of our short-term faculty-led study abroad programs, anything where you're physically leaving the country to participate in some sort of Drexel-sponsored program. Cross-cultural experiences are a little bit more diverse and flexible. It might be a domestic co-op that you're doing here in the US, or volunteer service in the US with an international organization, or where you have high touch points with different cultures outside of your own. It can be active participation in an international or multicultural organization at Drexel or program. It can be one of our virtual exchange global classrooms. So again, we work with you to think about what would be the best options for you. What types of experiences are you really hoping to do? And we can help plan ahead for when you will complete some of these experiences. And again, in order to complete this requirement, you'll respond to a prompt for each experience that you do, again, within the community classroom. From experience, most students do find a way in the program to do at least 1 international experience and 1 cross-cultural experience, but we do also encourage students to participate in this program, even when going abroad isn't necessarily something that you intend or are able to do within your curriculum. For students who enter the program, again, a little bit later on in their Drexel tenure, we do count experiences that you've done before entering the GES program. It has to be after you matriculate into Drexel, but it can be anything that you do. Let's say you do a study abroad in your sophomore year and you join the program in your pre-junior year. That study abroad will still count as an international experience. So again, you will meet with a mentor, and I'll explain that a little bit later, but we can really sit down with you and based off of your interests and ideas, kind of formulate some suggestions to complete this requirement. So this next slide just kind of gives another overview of some different opportunities here. And again, this is not an all-inclusive list. There are definitely other ways to fulfill these requirements.
So another component of the program involves attending and participating in events, programs, and activities that are globally focused or oriented. And students are required to complete at least 6 of these activities. If you organize a globally themed event on or off campus, that will count as 2 events, as we certainly understand how much time and effort goes towards organizing such an event. Previous globally themed events have included lectures, conferences, different workshops, diversity trainings, or applying for an international fellowship. These events can be on campus, they can be off campus, and especially now, they can certainly be virtual. Usually when we are able, the office offers GES-only events throughout the year that participants are invited to attend, and these include trips to DC and New York. After you attend such an event, you must write a response to it and submit it to the prompt that is listed on the community classroom.
And this requirement is the one requirement that you must complete while you're in the GES program. So if you are a pre-junior entering the program and you did some global events your sophomore year, those do not count towards the program. For these, we really want these events to make sense as part of your path to becoming a global engagement scholar. And there are plenty of events that our office does throughout the year where you can easily complete this requirement just by attending our events. But certainly, again, events across campus in Philadelphia can count towards this requirement.
And this is just a couple of examples listed of previous or kinds of events that students have attended that they can use towards that requirement. A very popular one is attending and or presenting at the annual student conference on global challenges, which gives students a chance to first-handedly experience what an academic conference looks like. And students are also invited to apply to present their research that would have a global focus. Other events include study abroad panels, which are also hosted by the Office of Global Engagement, attending lectures from guest speakers that can be on campus or off campus as well. And as Adam put it, there are many local events around Philadelphia that certainly have a global component. A best practice to keep would be to stay on the lookout on the university events calendar. You can subscribe to different email lists about local events, and also be sure to keep an eye out for our website and emails from us, where we'll share information about upcoming globally focused events that are either on or off campus. Some of those are hosted by the Office of Global Engagement, but it's certainly not limited.
Finally, at the end of your time in the program, traditionally during your senior year, instead of enrolling in GES 201, you'll enroll in GES 401 Portfolio, again, a 0-credit class, following successful completion of all activity requirements and approval from your GES mentor. The Global Engagement Portfolio includes a 1,000-word reflective essay that ties together all of your experiences that you've done, kind of a meta-reflection on who you are at that present compared to who you are when you began the program or began your Drexel tenure, and a 10-minute presentation detailing your activities in the program, answering the question, what is a global engagement scholar? We want you to be creative. Most students decide to do PowerPoint or Prezi, and they do a great job at presenting their experiences, but you can do other creative ways to present your portfolio as well, such as make a YouTube video if that's something that you're interested in. We have a presentation day every June where students present to other GES students and other globally engaged staff. And that's always an opportunity for students to share their experiences, brag a bit about themselves, and really communicate what makes them a global engagement scholar. What are some of the global competencies they really felt that they were able to develop while in the program. So a lot of students find that the portfolio is really helpful in packaging everything together, allowing them to articulate what they've accomplished, again, if they're applying for graduate school or in the job market, to be able to highlight these global experiences and really explain how they've benefited them while at Drexel. The program also operates on a mentorship model. Each student is paired with a mentor of the GES team. Generally, that is going to begin as Casey or myself as your mentor. We help advise you throughout the tenure in the program. We meet with you initially for 15 minutes to learn a little bit about you and your interest in the program and how we can help make this program successful for you. Monitor student progress, answer any questions about activity requirements, assess your submissions and your final portfolio, and serve as a go-to resource for student inquiries and program support. Sometimes if a student submits a prompt, a reflection, and we think that there is room to really dive a little bit more deeper into some of the questions regarding the activity requirement, we'll give you that feedback. Hey, you might think about X, Y, Z and modify your reflections. That's really where we come in terms of assessing your activity submissions and your portfolio. But you're also welcome to choose a mentor. We have other members of our global engagement staff who are experts in their own capacities regarding certain locations, geographic locations, or interests. We have faculty members who have been GES mentors. So during that initial meeting with Casey or me, we'll be able to give you a sense of who else might be an option for a mentor in the GES program. But you're certainly not going through the program alone. You have that staff or faculty support, and you have the support of other GES students. So upon successful completion of the program, students receive a Global Engagement Scholar designation on their transcript, which again, it looks great for when you're applying for graduate programs to have this honors on your transcript. We really believe it helps you gain a competitive edge in your professional and academic goals and make personal and professional connections to your global interests. So we have done a lot of different assessment on this program. Students really find that it helps them better understand their global competencies, their interest in global, and also connects them to more opportunities in global engagement. Students in this program are more likely to complete different types of varied global experiences compared to students who do not enroll in the program. So we really hope to see you in the program. And certainly if you have any questions, please reach out to Casey or me. Again, we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Otherwise, we look forward to receiving your GES application. You can find that at drexel.edu/global, as Casey mentioned. And we look forward to welcoming you into the Global Engagement Scholar family. Thank you very much.